two niggas spoiling movies. Yeah. Brandon Collins, that's me, and Justin Brown for your movie needs. Medium popcorn. Woo! You haven't seen it, well, we're gonna spoil it. Spoil it in your face. That's your warning. So if you get pissed, it's all your fault. Woo-hoo. Woo-hoo. What's up, butter popcorn babies and sugar daddies? This is Eddie Collins.
Guys, this is Justin Brown.
And we are Medium Popcorn. But you already knew that because you listen. You push play on your favorite podcast application. And we're like, let me listen to these brothers and see what's going on. And as always, we got our mini episodes, movie news and trailer reactions. Justin, we had a lot of news happening since the last episode.
Oh, baby. Oh, baby.
So much news, including additional information that Warner Brothers Discovery has taken down $115 additional million on mystery projects, not including Coyote versus Acme, which has still not found a new home after Warner Brothers Discovery essentially was trying to get that thing taken off the face of the earth so they could get a tax write-off.
Sorry asses.
Yeah, but apparently, so did you know that David Zaslav, his whole bonus is actually connected not to profit or anything like that, or like successful, like, Max, but to actually getting rid of the debt. And he's done a really good job of that by eliminating jobs and
by just cutting things. That's
yeah.
God,
that's
it just sucks that this is the world we live in. It's all about the bottom line. It's just like, oh, let's fire people and just make sure that we're getting as much profit as possible. Even though that's just capitalism.
Yeah, the whole Coyote versus Acme thing feels just performative. Like it's like the studio always knew that this is going to be the end result, that it wasn't going to find a new home. Because if they really were caring about the creators and like making sure that the project did see the live day, I think they would have played better with the other studios, because there were a few offers apparently, but they didn't really entertain them because they weren't going to make a profit. It's like, what's the point? So
yeah,
I don't know. And also, like, there's a whole headache of the Looney Tunes going, being on a different streamer that's like, potentially conflicts with their bottom line and their branding and stuff. So it's always a cluster. It just always felt disingenuous. And so back to square one. And now there's other projects that are also being
especially with things like this, that there's a lot of moving parts.
Yes.
So, I think we all figured that it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, I know. It's just sometimes you hope, especially because creators, they don't know that shit's even a possibility. Now they do. But remember, this is new shit with the Batgirl stuff, and now this is like new. Studios don't usually do this because it's also like typically there's some kind of archive of hard copies of some shit.
Yeah, and
even the Schumacher cut of Batman and Forever or whatever the fuck is like out there and available. Like I just saw like a Scream 3 director's cut, like with alternative scenes and shit. Yeah, like it got ripped. And it's like old school bootleg shit. And that was like 3 months ago. So the fact that these movies are just being like, even the creators, let's say you and I made this movie, Coyote versus Acme. We can't even get access to that shit no more. It's like it never happened. That's crazy.
That must be just so disheartening, for everyone who worked on that. Because if you think like, I remember doing a film and it never saw the light of day, and I'm like, come on, man, I worked on that fucking thing. Like, it sucks.
And there's other stuff that did see the light of day. You're like, God damn, fate.
Like, this is the one. This is the one. But like, I couldn't imagine, especially doing something on, that has such a big budget and it has studio backing, and then it's just like it goes nowhere. That must truly be disheartening.
Yeah, it's all crazy. But speaking of a bunch of movie parts, Vin Diesel has announced that they are officially moving forward with the next Fast installment. This update comes after a former assistant of Vin Diesel's has sued him for sexual battery, which he has, of course, denied. But on Instagram, per random Vin Diesel usual, because I don't know if anyone else follows this crazy nigga on Instagram, but he be posting some wild shit randomly in like the middle of the night and stuff. Yeah, he be posting random pictures of like him and like a random celebrity, or like of like Paul Walker's daughter. It's just like, hey, it's all crazy out here, but we live it. family. And you're like, what? But in this statement, he said, just finished our end of the week fast meeting with the writers and the whole team. To say the excitement for our finale was incredibly powerful is an understatement. This grand finale is not just an ending, it's a celebration of the incredible family we built together. Hope to make you proud.
No.
I don't know how they're going to do this, nigga. Like, I have no idea how this last movie is going to happen.
Why do you say that?
Bro, it ended on a cliffhanger. Remember, they filmed that shit like almost 2 years ago. He has a son. What that kid? They're gonna have to use AI to de-age that kid. There's no other way. They can't do a time jump. We literally ended with all of them plausibly being dead. They like bat themselves into the craziest quarter I've ever seen. You can't time travel to make a sequel. That's
it's
not possible yet.
like it just shows how ridiculous a Vin Diesel is that he
Yes.
didn't just film the whole entire thing and just be done with it. The fact he's like, yeah, we're gonna end on a cliffhanger and we're gonna come back and film it. We're gonna figure it out. Like he's an idiot.
It's all crazy, dude.
He's like he's purely he's cuckoo fucking bananas.
Yeah. And I know what the plan is. I'll tell you off mic. And it makes it even crazier. Sorry, folks, I can't reveal on mic what I know, but like the shit that's play, like it makes it even more insane how they ended the last one. Because like literally everyone's gonna look so much older by the time this last one comes out. It's gonna be like y'all should just be racing in wheelchairs, nigga. Like, what are we doing?
Oh god.
Yeah. So.
Oh god.
All right, but moving on to a little bit more exciting news. Did you watch Beef on Netflix by any chance, Justin?
I started watching. I didn't actually finish it though, but it is a fun little thing.
I wouldn't describe it as fun, but sure. I think that's because you haven't finished it yet. Holy shit,
Okay.
man! That
So,
yeah,
it gets darker.
it gets so dark.
Oh,
Yeah, like if you were on episode 3, yeah, dude, it gets rough. Like that, it's Beef for a reason. Like they go at each other.
Yeah. I
It
mean, I
gets
saw some
real
wild
bad.
shit. I
Yeah,
mean,
but
it's already, as far as I've seen, it's already gotten to the point. It's like, oh, this is getting kind of wild.
yeah,
The way they're going back and forth, and does she fuck his brother?
yep. Yep, and that
Like,
gets worse too. Yeah, you'll see.
yeah, yeah,
You'll see.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean Stephen Young, the creator, Ali Wong, they've been cleaning up this award season for the first installation. And I say that because Beef creator and EP Lee Sun Jin recently mentioned that there's potentially a second sequel. He said that he's locked in the story and been like kind of exploring different casting. And this season will revolve around two feuding couples, not just like individuals, right? And
I
apparently
like that better.
the folks in contention are May December actor Charles Melton and Kaylee Spaney, who was apparently in Sophia Coppola's Priscilla as one of the couples, and then Jake Gyllenhaal and Anne Hathaway as the other couple. Which Anne Hathaway getting in some beef as a white woman, I could see that a mile away. So yeah, I think that's perfect casting.
I could see Jake Gyllenhaal as well because he does have kind of like a wildness in his
Oh
eyes.
yeah, yeah. He and Tom Hardy need to play like brothers and not have dialogue, just expressing with their eyes and shit. And then Daniel Kaluuya, they have they have a conflict with Daniel Kaluuya for some because those are the three actors that can really act with their eyes. You know what I mean? Like, I know that sounds weird, but Jake Gyllenhaal, I watched him recently in that Prisoners movie because
Mhm.
I've been kind of going down a Denis Villeneuve thing,
Mm.
and dude, he is so intense in that movie just
Yeah.
from his eyes. It's like just his facial expressions and his eyes. I'm like, yo, that's a crazy looking nigga.
A friend of mine saw Jake Gyllenhaal at a party, and he was just like, and I guess there was pizza there and stuff like that. And like his way of getting, trying to start a conversation, he's like, "Hey, would you like a slice of this pizza?" And he's like, he just looked at me.
He's like, I'm Jake Gyllenhaal.
It's just like,
I'm 0.2 body fat, bro. And I was in Donnie Darko. Fuck you.
no, sir, I don't want pizza.
I always like imagine like the craziest actors are the ones that like they can't even have regular conversations. They just mention movies they've done.
Yeah.
It's like Daniel Day loses at Dunkin' Donuts. And you're just like, so what kind of donut would you like, sir? He's like, well, when I was in my left foot. Like, nigga, do
My
you want
left foot.
sprinkles? But going back to the Beef season 2, apparently, actually, There's been a it says seasons worth of scripts turned into Netflix, and A24 and Netflix are ready to work on another season. Again, A24 is just fucking killing it out here.
I mean, they're
Um,
always churning out something.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, that's what's going on with Beef. I'm interested to see where they take it in a different direction. I know a few people were frustrated in hearing that they're probably, I mean, it's not a spoiler, but how they're not continuing with Ali Wong and Stephen Young's story. But I
Yeah.
think it's okay. Honestly think it's okay if we don't revisit them, or if we revisit them like later, see like iteration of the series or something like
Hmm.
that, maybe. Um, Speaking
Fair.
of Netflix, Dan Lin of Ryback has been tapped to replace Scott Stubber as Netflix's film boss. Like, apparently, this is a big deal when the film boss from Netflix, who had been a big pioneer on expansion as well as trying to push for some theatrical releases for some of the Netflix films. He recently departed with the studio, and so this producer from Sherlock Holmes, It, and Lego series is now heading over to Netflix. The reason why I added this story in is because he actually was a mentor for one of the writers in the Universal program, and she had a really good experience with him. And I was just like, keep that relationship going because he was originally in contention for the Warner Brothers job that James Gunn and them ended up getting.
Really?
Yeah, he was like one of the top names mentioned too. So I was like, sure, you gotta keep that relationship going. Come on.
Yeah, yeah, that's a guy. That's a
Yep.
guy.
Exactly. Even if he only responds to the email once every 7 years, that's the person you want in your Rolodex.
He's like, hey, I'm busy.
Just busy over here running the biggest streamer and everything. But let's see. We got a lot more movie. Speaking of Netflix as well, additional story that came out is that Shane Gillis has a scripted series called Tires that will be premiering in May on the streamer. This follows Shane Gillis's recent appearance on Saturday Night Live, and apparently Tires revolves around Will, the nervous and unqualified heir to an auto repair chain who attempts to turn his father's business around despite constant torture from his cousin and now employee Shane, played by Shane Gillis.
Yeah.
Also, will star former, not former, but former guest and friend of the podcast, Stavros Hakias, as well as appearances by Andrew Schultz and comedian, New York comedian Karen Pian. So
Okay. All
he
right.
just keeps getting up. Here's the thing with Shane
Falling
Gillis.
up. It's falling up.
Well, that's the thing though. And I don't agree with a lot of his humor. Like I don't agree, especially the stuff he says on podcasts. He says some wild shit on podcasts,
Yeah.
and that's always a reflection of your character. And I know, folks, we've said some wild shit on this podcast, but also sometimes it's a very murky line that
It's
comedians
a blurred
tell.
line. Yeah. Yeah.
It's very hard, but I can't lie. I mean, SNL aside, because that wasn't a great episode, he puts on some funny shit, dude. Like
Yeah.
he has some really funny video sketches. And his stand-up's got a few funny jokes, especially when he talks about family and stuff like that. I think if you have disability within your family and your family members sign off on you being able to talk about that stuff, then do it.
Well,
Because he was getting a lot of like pushback on like jokes
yeah,
about Down syndrome and stuff like that.
yeah. He made a Down syndrome joke to kind of open up his monologue or something like that.
Well, he also has someone on his Netflix special too. Like it's not
Yeah.
like a random top. Like it's not like Chappelle just randomly
Yeah.
started talking about trans people. You're like, what happened? He's like, no, I got family that does that has Down syndrome and stuff.
Yeah. Well, and if anyone would be able to joke about it, I think it would probably be him, considering he does have a family. So yeah, it's just yeah.
The only thing is, brothers like us ain't getting these kind of opportunities. We're not getting fired from a big ass show for saying some crazy, wild, and sensitive shit, and then
You ain't
getting
getting
all the
fired from
shots.
anywhere and falling up.
Yeah, we follow down, 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 down.
I'm going down.
In every fucking branch of the way down. Black people, we don't go down easily, especially when we hit that big celebrity.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a wild shit to take us down, and when it does, ooh wee.
Oh, it's a fall from grace.
Like Michael Jackson knows what we talk about. That's why this biopic, the news that just came out that they cast the actors. There's 8 actors that have been cast to play the Jackson 5 throughout the movie,
Yeah.
which is so crazy. But I saw the pictures of these young actors. They look pretty good. This is pretty good casting. They got Tito, Jermaine, Marlon, and Jackie. They got them all.
They're all there. They're all there. I
Now,
mean, it is going to be crazy just to see these kids or these guys who are going to be I mean the dude who's playing Michael,
Yes.
like the relative, like
Yeah, the
that's
nephew.
eerie. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's where I'm like, how deep are they going to go into this shit? Like,
Yeah.
and I think I just recently did a Drunk Black History episode with Ray Sani, and we were talking about like the Jackson Five,
The
American
American
Saga,
Dream.
or the
Yeah.
American Dream, or whatever, right? And I forgot about that. For some reason, I forgot about. I just haven't watched it in forever because it is a long fucking
No, it was a
series. It's
mini
like,
series.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like 7 hours or some shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, they've already kind of treaded this water before.
Yeah.
And so for black audiences, how do you make it better than American Dream? How, I mean, you got Coleman as Joe Jackson, so we'll see because that's gonna be wild. Coleman Domingo as Joe Jackson, Nia Long as Catherine. That's gonna be crazy.
Well, I mean, at the same time, Nia Long as Catherine, she's, you know, Catherine really didn't do all that much. You know what I'm saying? She was
Well,
kind
I
of in the
mean, in the later
background.
years, she did
Well, yeah,
when she had to take
true.
over the kids and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I just remember seeing pictures of Catherine when she had those three white children to take care of, just despondent and photos. Page 6 is like Catherine Jackson struggling to keep up. Like, you think?
These are white kids. I can't touch them. If Joe was around, these kids, we definitely all be in jail.
Oh yeah. Imagine Joe Jackson whipping the shit out of his white grandchildren. He'd be like, I never thought I'd see the day. Wash it. Wash it.
It's time for you to take the mantle.
Ooh, ACS would be called so quick. They'd be coming to their house. Well, now I did this to 7 of my boys. Why can't I do it to these white children?
You see my track record.
You know they're gonna be talented. Show them with the moonwalk, Blanket. Show them the moonwalk. Oh
I make
God.
stars. Okay, we need to move along, Brandon. We need to move along.
I'm sorry. Oh, that made me laugh so hard. Okay. Okay. The Warner Brothers Discovery Harry Potter series is closing in on writers as names the three finalists who have emerged. That includes the talents of Francesca Gardner, Tom Moran, and Kathleen Jordan. Now, apparently, they have a few more months to finalize their pitches for the studio, which is very interesting to me. Which means they have to essentially probably have like at least they probably have to break down the whole series since all the IP is available. So that's a lot of work. A lot of people might think, oh, like a few months, that should be more than enough. But no, you probably have to be in depth and have a very specific vision for each season. And like that's a lot of man, that's a lot of work. Um, Gardner apparently was a consulting producer on seasons 3 and 4 of Succession, had previously worked on His Dark Materials and Killing Eve. Moran is a British writer who created the Amazon series The Devil's Hour. Didn't see that, but okay. And then Jordan created the Netflix series Teenage Bounty Hunters, which was executive produced by Genji Kohan and has also worked on Orange is the New Black. Oh, okay. I know Teenage Bounty Hunter.
Hmm.
That's a fun show on Netflix.
Yeah, never watched it.
Yeah,
I've seen the
Jackson might
trailer.
like it. Yeah, Jackson might like it. But speaking of animated movies, Moana 2 has finally secured their lead actress, Alu I Cavarholo, who played
I don't know. All I know is that I mean she was like the original
she's the
voice
original
actor.
Moana. Yeah. So
Yeah,
because for those of you who don't know, Moana 2 is coming out in theaters later this year, I believe in the fall. But it was previously going to be a Disney Plus series, but I guess the studio loved it so much they decided to extend it and make it a full feature film. And so they had to then cast the original voices because for the TV shows, they never go with the original voices. They're too
yeah,
expensive.
yeah,
And so now they close in the deal for Alawi to come back as Moana, but now we just have to wait and see if they get the Rock back as Maui. I
yeah.
imagine, but that's got to be crazy to pay this dude twice for the same role because he's also doing the live action version of the demigod.
Yeah, I mean, but I
That's
mean,
kind of crazy.
I mean, this is a different story, though.
I guess, but like it's still the same character.
True, true.
It's kind of wild, but yeah. I mean, I hope the movie's good because this would be stupid to spend all this money on a film that's not worthy of a sequel. or
Yeah.
like and not worthy of like following up the original, which was so charming and
Well, listen, man, you just don't fucking know anymore.
yeah,
Because,
sure,
people are like, oh, yeah, this was the best thing I've ever seen. Dog shit. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like, we just don't know at
yeah.
this
I mean, the
point.
last time I remember Disney doing something like this was Toy Story 2, though. So because
True.
Toy Story 2 was originally supposed to go to direct to video, and they were like, "This is really fucking good. We got to release this theatrically."
There's like, let's keep them coming.
Yep. I mean, they're making a Toy Story 5. What the fuck are we doing?
Well, I mean, well, I guess it's just the fact is that the last story, I feel like we all felt like it was wrapped up. But, there has to, I don't
Well,
know what's
4 was
still
a
in the
good
tank.
epilogue. Like I think
Yeah.
4 did because I thought the same thing after 3. I'm like, that was such a perfect ending. But I think 4 gave a good tag to it, which was like, hey, Woody, yes, they found a new home and stuff, but Woody doesn't feel fulfilled. And
Yeah.
it's because like he has this long love that like, he got away from. So I actually really loved that ending. I was like,
Hmm.
I get why they did this one now. Like,
Yeah.
but I'm like, where do you go from there? Unless you're giving Buzz his closure, his own
Mm.
closure, but I don't know what that looks like. Would it be him actually be going to space? Because that'd be fucking nuts. That'd be fucking crazy. Dude, when you watch the first one, like as an
No, he's
adult,
out of his fucking mind.
he's fucking crazy. Like Buzz Light, you see why Tom Hanks is losing his mind as Woody. He's like, nigga, what are you talking about? You're not going to space.
You're a toy. You're a goddamn toy.
And it's just like hilarious because you see like, oh, Woody's actually genuinely afraid of for his life. He's like, the elements, I got Sid to deal with, and this nigga thinks he's a spaceman. Like,
This motherfucker swan diving out the window.
yeah, the
Yeah,
first
Buzz
one's
is out of his
hilarious.
goddamn
The
mind.
first one's really funny when you like realize, oh yeah, Buzz is fucking crazy.
Yeah. Oh, Buzz lost it.
Speaking of crazy, the Naked Gun series is apparently getting a reboot.
I
Um,
loved Naked Gun as a kid. I
I
loved it.
don't, I don't get it, man.
But here's the thing. Well, I mean, at the that kind of slapstick comedy is, we don't. That's not something you typically see, especially now. That was
That's
kind
true.
of big in
Yeah,
like the '80s, well, '70s, '80s, early '90s.
yeah.
So it's going to be interesting, to try to see them, redo that. But at the same time, listen, if I saw reruns of Mr. Bean, I'd watch them.
Mm,
You know
okay.
what I'm saying? But also, I think that also it would probably resonate pretty well with the younger demographic.
It might be. It might be like the fun, silly shit that we need in the theater to get people going
Yeah.
back for comedies. And it is going to start Liam Neeson against type, so that could be a little fun, because when he's allowed to be like really sarcastic, he's actually pretty funny. When he was on Atlanta, like that was one of my favorite episodes of that season when
Mm,
Brian Tyler Henry run
yeah.
because he makes jokes about like that whole like, oh, if I saw a black guy after like my sister got assaulted or whatever, I would have killed him or some shit.
Yeah.
Like they talk about that, and like it's got a very sarcastic response to it. But apparently this Naked Gun reboot's going to hit theaters in July 28th, 2025, which is such a
Yeah.
crazy thing to stake out um that date so far in advance. But Seth MacFarlane's going to be a producer, so it might be even a little bit edgier than the previous Naked Guns.
Yeah.
It'd be wild if they brought back OJ. That's a cameo, folks. If you don't know, OJ used to be in the Naked Gun movies. So
Yes, he was.
just
Yes,
saying
he was.
that he just is like, hey y'all, it's yours truly. Like fucking the fact that
Man,
he starts videos like that is so
man,
unhinged.
they can't because it would be too much comedy for niggas. Oh, that would make my fucking day. That would
Oh
make
shit.
my day.
To make this even better, Justin, actually, we might fuck with this a lot. So Dan Gregor and Doug Mann are going to be writing the script, and they are two of the writers from Chippendale Rescue Rangers.
Lovely. I know Dan
The
Greger.
Yeah, ooh,
Fuck.
that's gonna be fun. That
Uh,
actually might be fun. I mean, because folks, if you don't know, we absolutely love the Chippendales Rescue Rangers reboot film or whatever they did on Disney Plus. That thing, if you haven't watched it, please do yourself a favor and watch it. It's so fucking funny.
Hold on. No, when I said I know Dan Greger's number is in my phone.
Oh, okay.
I'm just
Well,
like, I'm like Dan Greger. Like shit.
Well, yeah, we just call him.
Yeah, I can't use that.
Call
like,
him and
like
be
a
like,
dude
hey,
pull that.
hey, what's up,
Hey,
baby?
hey, Dan, I need to get in, baby.
Come on, baby. Let me in that naked gun. I can play the OJ character. Come on. That could be a breakout role for you, bro. The exposure that would be at that role.
Oh
All right.
God. Listen,
Uh
I'd run through the airport jumping over fucking bags and shit. Come on, let's do it.
uh jeez. So the photos of the remake of The Crow, of Bill Skarsgård and FK Twigs has been released. This is a new take on James Hobart's original graphic novel, set to be released
Mhm.
on June 7th. Um, I mean, the Crow's always been a weird thing for me, especially knowing that, like,
Someone died. Yeah.
yeah, and stuff like that. I never even seen the movie, so I don't even know what the fuck's about. So maybe we should add to the list, Lluvia. Um, but yeah, I just see these pictures and I'm like, yeah, this looks like a bad punk rock band that like idolizes the Joker. I don't know what this means.
We're talking about the first Crow movie, the one with Brandon Lee.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Lluvia is asking which one
Yeah,
we're
which
talking
one? Sorry. The Yeah, I mean, this looks interesting. It really it looks interesting, like the pictures and everything. But like, yeah, I don't know. I I don't know if we needed this.
I don't know if anyone needed it. I didn't know the Crow was popping like that to warrant a remake.
No, The Crow was a huge hit. People were like, especially the kind of grungy, emo crowd. The Crow was
Okay.
huge with them.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
Interesting.
or the people like like, oh, is this dude a witch? I mean, is this chick a witch? Like those people from high school, they love The Crow.
Okay. They love the Crow.
They love The Crow.
You gotta go.
It's the thing, baby.
Okay. We do have to end with some sad news. One of our last news stories. As of this recording, Richard Lewis, one of America's most beloved and revered stand-up comics, who also plays a fictionalized version of himself on HBO's Curb Your Enthusiasm, died at the age of 76 with a heart attack.
Yeah,
Um,
died in his sleep though, so you went
yeah.
peacefully.
Rest in peace, sir. Yeah, I read a lot of stories about him back in the day in the stand-up comic world, like when everything was popping with like the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, stuff like that. And I did
Was he
enjoy
was
him.
on the Gary Shandling show?
I believe so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he featured on there a lot too.
Yeah. And then obviously Curb Your Enthusiasm, BoJack Horseman. And then I personally remember him from Robin Hood Men in Tights when he played Prince John.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
that was like my first introduction to him. So
Yeah.
um yeah, Richard Lewis, rest in power, sir. And thank you for the laughs.
Hmm.
Yep. And the last story, movie news story, Justin, before we get to some movie trail reactions, I just had to bring this up because this popped up on my radar. And I had no idea this had happened. The Willy Wonka, well, no, it's like the fucking Fire Festival of Willy Wonka events, apparently. And Hollywood Reporter, I had no idea what they were talking about. The headline just says, after playing Willy Wonka, a disaster event speaks out. It was heartbreaking and dangerous. And I was like, tell me more, Hollywood Reporter. So, folks, I'm actually going to read this article real quick because it's so fucking crazy. So, one of the actors hired to play Willy Wonka at an immersive experience fan event that became a viral sensation for all the wrong reasons, speaking out about what actually went down behind the scenes. The UK fan attraction, Willy's Chocolate Experience, which was inspired by Roald Dahl's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, but not officially tied to the books or movies, promised to transport buyers into a fantastical world. The organizer used spectacular artificial intelligence generated photos to lure customers to a barren and depressing warehouse
Yep.
that left parents furious and children in tears with police being called to the scene. Folks, that's the first fucking paragraph. Like, we're going Black Guy Who Tips.
Yo, yo,
We're going Black Guy Who Tips news report on this shit.
yo, you know it's bad, but white people are just like, this is not what I expected. Call the cops. Call the cops.
Yep, that's exactly what I read. The Independent spoke to actor Paul Cano, who was one of the three actors hired to play the whimsical chocolatier at the event. Cano revealed that he was hired at the very last minute and was sent a script that was 50 pages of AI generated gibberish of me just monologuing these bad things. He said the bit that got me was where they had me say, there is a man we don't know his name. We know him as the unknown. The unknown is the evil chocolate maker who lives in the walls. It was terrifying for the kids. Is he an evil man who makes chocolate, or is the chocolate itself evil? These are the questions actors asked themselves, folks. In either case, the event apparently didn't have any chocolate, despite being entitled a chocolate experience. We were told to give the kids one jelly bean and a quarter cup of lemonade, Connell said. No chocolate at the chocolate experience. There's supposed to be a chocolate fountain somewhere, but I never saw it. Connell was also supposed to use a vacuum cleaner at the end of his monologue. This sucked the evil unknown man out of the factory walls. But the event didn't even have a vacuum cleaner, so he had to frantically improvise. How do you improvise sucking evil out of a wall? You have to use your mouth, right?
You know,
There's no other option. You have to use
so wait,
orifice
so
to suck.
hold on. So you telling me that this young actor went to the wall a la a glory hole and he just sucked the evil?
But when I read frantically improvised, that's a big what comes to mind. The actor ended up playing Wonka for nearly 4 hours straight without a break while organizers urged him to move kids through the warehouse faster. I didn't know where I ended and Wonka began, he said. I was losing my mind by that point.
Now, if you look at the pictures of this, because it's been all over social media and whatnot, I
Fucking
believe,
nuts.
well, on Instagram where I saw it, the fourth picture was of this woman standing behind a table, and she looks so sad.
With the Oompa Loompa hair and shit.
Holy shit, yo! I've never. Did I send this to you, Brandon?
No, no.
Oh, bro, I was like, this was killing me.
Eventually,
I was
parents got
listening.
quite upset and the event descended into chaos. Kyle decided to quit along with some Oompa Loompas. There was an angry mob at the door of not being let in, he said. People were shouting. People who put on the event were crying. There were arguments, people running around everywhere. The set had been trashed. It was actually quite dangerous for us, but it was heartbreaking, to be honest. There were kids in costumes better than ours, crying. We as actors were brought in last minute, and we just did our best for the kids. He also said that the word contract was misspelled in his contract. This is a comedy waiting to happen. This would be the
Yes,
funniest.
somebody fleeced a whole bunch of people out of money.
Did you see the photo of this dude too? The comedian as Wonka. He looks like an orphan. Like, he looks like an orphan Scottish man. He was an extra in the fucking gangs in New
Okay,
York.
all right, let's move on. We don't have much time. We don't have
Yes,
much
yes, sir, sir.
time.
So, folks, that's the end of our movie news. We did watch a few trailers, starting with Shirley, which stars Regina King from a film directed by John Ridley,
Hmm.
also co-starring Lance Reddick. She plays Shirley Chisholm, who is the story of the first Black Congresswoman and her trailblazing run for president of the United States. Obviously, she didn't win, but you
Hey,
know,
she gave the old college try.
that's right. That's right. But it looks interesting. It looks like a, typical biopic that you see. But
Yeah, it looks like there's a little comedy sprinkled around in there.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
not
I
taking
mean,
it
but
too seriously.
exactly. But I mean, Regina King, based on what I've seen the photos of Shirley, looks pretty spot on. And it's been a while since we've seen her, ever since the unfortunate passing of her son. I'm glad to see that she never stopped working, that, hopefully this will be, a good way for her to come back out into the public light,
Yeah.
following such a sad tragedy that she experienced and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, we also watched the trailer for Borderlands, directed by Eli Roth, starring
Mm.
Kate Winslet, Kevin Hart, and some other niggas. But this doesn't look anything like the video game.
No, it doesn't.
This doesn't remind me at all of the video game.
I mean, it looks interesting. It looks interesting. I don't know. I don't know. It's like, honestly, like it feels like Guardians of the Galaxy.
It felt like a James Gunn ripoff for sure. It
Yeah.
definitely did, with the music and everything like that.
Hmm. And just the way it's shot visually, everything.
Yeah, because the game is like very cartoonish almost. It's like it's very interesting, the animation they use for the Borderlands game. And so to get none of that aesthetic or that feel is kind of weird.
Yeah.
No matter that we get Kate Blanchett looking like a punk rock chick, which is kind of hot. That's
Yeah,
it.
she does look kind of.
Yeah, but
I was
what
for
doesn't
it.
what doesn't look hot is Civil War. That looks like
No,
we're gonna
that
see
looks a
some
little too real.
we're gonna see some terrible shit, bro. That's gonna hit too close to home. I think that movie's gonna bomb.
Actually, I don't think so.
I think it's probably gonna bomb because I think it's gonna be too close. Like you said, it's too close to home. I don't think people will want to pay to see entertainment that's gonna reflect their real life, but just escalate it.
No, you know why? Because I think that you have. Well, it isn't the Obamas behind that one?
I don't know. I know it's an A24 movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't think the Bombers are
No,
behind
no,
this.
I'm sorry. It's
That
a
be
different movie. Either
yeah.
way, I don't. I think that there's going to be a lot of people who are going to go and see it, be like, yeah, this, as you could see in that movie, we win or something like that. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's going to get weird. There's going to be a lot of weird stuff surrounded around it.
Okay. Okay. Just because of that, though, I don't know if it's going to be a box office hit.
I mean, fair. I could see it not being for sure.
Yeah. Another movie that needs to be a box office hit is Horizon American Saga Part One, the fucking movie series that Kevin Costner quit. What's the famous show that he's on with Taylor Sheridan? Yellowstone.
Oh yeah,
Yellowstone.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he fought to get out of his contract early so he could do this film that needs to be profitable. But Kevin Costner is a weird dude. Like I never watched Dancing with Wolves. We all know what we thought about Waterworld based on that episode. Um, yeah, I don't know. Like, I just saw this and I'm like, okay, I feel like you're giving me a lot of story, and it's also a western, so it can't be too complicated. And then
Yeah,
it's at part one. I was like, God damn.
so basically, it's about white manifest destiny. Moving west and stealing land, and the Native Americans just being like, "Oh no, fuck
Yeah, we
y'all,
ain't
we
going down
coming
without a
for them."
fight.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
and
I don't think it's gonna
well,
be a revisionist history version, so we know who's gonna win.
and
We
that's
know.
well, I mean, it's not revisionist history because the whites still win, but
That's what I meant. I'm like, Kevin Costner's not gonna flip the script on it
okay,
and make where the Native
okay.
Americans actually win and stuff. Yeah.
Well,
So it's not gonna be
I
an
guess
interesting outcome.
but it's also gonna make Native Americans to be the big bad in it when it's just like were they
Hmm?
were they
I mean, we'll see. Maybe like part two ends up being like Pocahontas or some shit, and the two sides come together. You never fucking know,
true, you never know.
especially with whites that have a lot of money.
Mhm.
They be doing some wild shit. He made Waterworld. We already talked about it. Anyways,
Talk about it.
the final trailer is a TV trailer actually for Interview with the Vampire season 2. Now, folks, you know that I don't fuck with vampires. They make me squeamish for some reason. But season 1 of Interview with the Vampire, Tatiana, I binged it in like a few days. Fantastic, and it shows black excellence. It was dope. Like it showed like rich black people, which is dope as hell in New Orleans back in like the early
Oh, no.
1900s. Nolans, that's right. Yeah.
I didn't watch it. So are you giving this a
I'm
thumbs up?
I'm
I did
excited.
check it
Yeah, I'm
out.
excited for the second season because I think it's because now we're getting into my understanding is we're getting into the Antonio Banderas character that was in the movie.
Oh,
Interview with
okay.
the and I think it's about
Oh,
to get
very
sexy.
nice.
This is a very homoerotic show. Absolutely,
Oh, it's very humble.
there's a lot of fucking, but
Oh,
it's a lot of good story and a lot of
is the
really good acting.
fucking between the man and the woman or the man and the man?
Everybody be fucking.
I love it.
And UV is asking where's it streaming? AMC Plus. That's the only downside. So
Oh,
I'm gonna wait and see if they all come out at once or if I gotta bank them. And then if they bank, like if it comes out week after week, I'm just gonna wait till they all get released and do a 30-day trial.
there you go.
That's what we'll do. But folks, this has been our movie news and trailer reactions mini episode. As always, you can follow me at Proto_Blackens. You can follow the show at MediumP Podcast on all social media platforms. And Justin, if people want to support the show financially as well as follow you, what can they do, my brother?
First of all, you can follow me at J Brown Did It on all the socials, but you can support this show at patreon.com/medium popcorn. We have $2, $5, $10, and $15 packages. So
Well.
support this show, love this show
Yeah,
at
yeah.
patreon.com/medium popcorn.
That's right. Clap your hands, stomp your feet. It's a
It's a
holiday, yo.
holiday. Mhm.
Why'd you cut me off, man? You know, that's my thing.
No, I said it with you.
No, you didn't say it with me. You undercut me.
No,
And
I
now
said
my
it
flow is
with you.
off. Now my flow is off. See, this is why this is civil war. Because this is why this is civil war. Because
You
niggas
really
don't
want to have a civil war with me, Brandon?
nigga doesn't say just,
we this was gonna turn into beef really fast.
yeah, I'll shit on your front door. All right, y'all. Peace.
Peace.